Welcome back to the thrilling episode of our channel. Are we interested in taking a tour through some of the history's most memorable courtroom scenes? Look nowhere else. The most intense and mind-blowing incidents that have taken place in courtrooms all across the world are explored in this video. We'll review the memorable moments that had us all on the edge of our seats, from famous criminal trials to historic civil cases. Randall Margaret. Number first was the attack on Randall Margaret in the viral footage taken on February 2, 2018 at the Eaton County Courthouse in Charlotte, Michigan. Randall Margaret is at the hearing of Larry Nassau. Larry Nassau is convicted of the murder of 3 people. Mark Graves is the father of these victims, and he asks to be heard, but when the judge denies him a sentence, his emotion overtakes him. He attempts to attack Larry Nassau, but he's instantly restrained by Eaton County deputies and tackled to the floor. This dramatic courtroom moment was such an honest display of emotion as Margaret literally cannot contain his outrage over what Nassau has done. Michael Madison. Michael Madison's absence of regret comes in at number 2. This courtroom scene is not in a stereotypically dramatic style. Michael Madison, the defendant, does not run across tables or lose his temper while being sentenced. The court describes Madison's terrible and unfathomable deeds, and unlike past dramatic moments, Madison's complete lack of reaction makes this moment remarkable. Madison appears relaxed and unperturbed as he sways back and forth in his chair. His face shows no signs of emotion. Madison is given the death penalty as the judge continues to speak. Madison nonetheless exhibits no emotion at all. Lance Dyer. The number 8 was Lance Dyer. In May 2014, resisted arrest and led police on a car chase when he had nowhere else to go. He tried to flee on foot and then pointed a loaded gun at the officers. This course is a big felony, and Dyer was convicted of 11 years in prison. While Dyer was accepting of his sentence, his sister was not. Footage of the hearing shows a Dyer sister in his epic outburst. She even resists being escorted out of the courtroom. Anthony Kirkland. 7. Cincinnati, Ohio's Anthony Kirkland is a convicted serial killer. I claim to be a monster and a devil. They're accurate. My mother despised me, but I didn't hold it against her. Previously, Kirkland had been given a 16-year term for the murder of her ex-girlfriend. A few years after being freed, Kirkland started his murderous rampage. He killed 4 women over 3 years, including 2 teenagers. After his 4th murder, Kirkland was detained after being found in possession of one of the victim's watches and an iPod, making him the prime suspect. Police eventually succeeded in connecting Kirkland to every murder. Now in court, as the charges are being read out, Kirkland is facing the death penalty, and next, he appears to faint. Kirkland was later found guilty on all charges and sentenced to death. He is on death row awaiting his execution at the Chillicothe Correctional Facility. The man who leaps over the table. The number 6 is the man who leaps on the table. The man in the dramatic courtroom moment is the father of a woman who has been killed. The man takes a moment to pause and looks back to where the offender is seated. From there, he clearly cannot contain his emotion and takes several quick steps forward, then throws himself into the air. The man leaps across the table, lunges at the offender and people in the courtroom, and is surprised at the man's actions as he seemed very calm beforehand. Tony Farmer. The next one is that Tony Farmer has a bright future ahead of him. He was a star basketball player on the fast track to the NBA, but he went to court when he attacked his ex-girlfriend, and the footage was caught on the surveillance camera. He was given a 3-year sentence in August 2012. And not only was the news of his sentence dramatic, but so was his reaction caught on film. You can see from his face and consequent fainting that he was less than thrilled by the sentence. And to make matters worse, his dramatic collapse was caused before the first sentence was even read, as the judge declares several times that she had not yet finished yet, while the farmer lies on the floor. Robert Blake. The 4th person is Robert Blake, an actor who later rose to fame after being accused of killing his second wife, Bonnie Lee Bakley. In 2001, appeared in the 1970s police thriller Beretta. In his criminal trial, the actor was not called as a witness, but the jury was shown a 2003 pre-trial interview with Barbara Walters, in which Blake professed his love for his daughter Rosie, then 4 years old. Analysts stated that Blake's humanization in the interview contributed to his acquittal on March 16, 2005. Blake yelled to the reporters after the hearing, "God bless you, Barbara Walters. I never would have been able to leave the building without you." A serial killer proposes marriage. The 3rd is a serial killer who makes a marriage proposal. When Theodore Ted Bundy admitted to killing 30 women in the middle to late 1970s, the courtroom was horrified. Yet some people still found the sociopath attractive. At a trial, Bundy asked his then-girlfriend to marry him while she was on the witness stand. The man's antics caught the courtroom attendees off guard. The couple was immediately married after the girlfriend Carol Annie Booney arranged for a notary to be present in the courtroom. After then, Booney got pregnant with a daughter while visiting her cruel husband in prison. Due to the lack of a victim to provide testimony, the second one is fascinating. The R&B artist was investigated by Illinois authorities in 2008 for allegedly recording tapes with a 13-year-old girl. They said that they ultimately decided against calling the woman, who was 10 years older, in order to relieve her of the burden. The jury swiftly exonerated Kelly of all 14 child taping charges in the absence of that testimony, concluding that they wouldn't be certain of either person's identity in the footage that was shown in the court. Damon Kemp. Number 1 is Damon Kemp, charged with the double murder of his roommate in Daytona Beach, Florida. Police were called to investigate a burglary at an apartment complex, and it was here at Kemp who allegedly confessed to the murders. During Kemp's bond hearing, he is now escorted into the court in a wheelchair. The judge tries to get Kemp's attention but is completely ignored. He continuously shouts, "God, God." For the victim's family, it got so tough they had to walk out. Kemp is currently in the Volusia County Jail awaiting his trial. And with that, it's time to wrap up. What's your opinion about the courtroom scenes? What do you guys have to say? Drop your views and answers in the comment section below. If you find it interesting, give us a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to us and hit the bell icon. If interested in similar content, refer to other videos on your screen. See you next time!